I don't know how to frame a scene. Why am I filming in the bathroom? Hold on.
G'day there, I'm SnakeOfBacon, and this is the Order 1886.
A PlayStation 4 exclusive from 2015.
Come on, Gray. Let's move.
This is not a cutscene, this is the game. Can you believe how good it looks and how cinematic? That's right, you think it's an in-game cinematic because it uses a cinematic aspect ratio of 2.4 to 1. For two reasons. One, because it's cinematic, and two, because there's 537,600 less pixels per frame at 1920 by 800, so there's more room for all that graphical post-processing, much like GT Sports replay mode. Cons, you lose 26% of the screen. Pros, it enables the PS4 to do fancier things with lighting, subsurface scattering in your ears, high resolution soft shadows, bokeh, depth of field, normal mapping everywhere and excellent particle effects, and great cloth simulation in my capelets. Plenty of time to look at that, because so much of the Order 1886 is spent walking or jogging and admiring the fantastically filmic presentation of this beautifully modelled alternate history 19th century London, with brickwork and tobacco advertising and...
Galahad!
Alright, this is Sir Galahad, real name Grayson, a member of a League of Extraordinary a member of the Knights of the Round Table, along with Isabeau Dargill, or Izzy, who is Lady Igraine, Sebastian Mallory as Sir Percival, and on the right, Gilbert de Motier, Marquis de Lafayette, a special guest from real history. Of course, this is alternate historical fiction. There's no rules. We've got Nikola Tesla in the game, making gadgets, basically as Q from the James Bond movies. We've got an R18 rating, so we've got to have some brothels, and because we've got brothels in Victorian England, we've got to have references to Jack the Ripper, even though the Whitechapel murders were in 1888.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Gray, come in.
Acknowledge, Percival.
It's a high-concept game. It's what if it was Victorian England at the height of the Second Industrial Revolution, but there were werewolves and technology went totally bananas, and that we had, UHF radio and lightning guns from the Matrix. Technology.
Multiple escapees spotted at the east entrance of the United India Underground Station. Intercept with caution.
Understood. Come on, Gray. Let's move.
Wait a minute, this is the same clip again. You already know how pretty it is outdoors. How about indoors? Well, it's still pretty. I mean, the carpet's amazing. The mirrors don't work because that would just be too taxing. They've already spent all the effects budget on everything else. So, no working mirrors. Or perhaps the mirrors are working correctly, but I'm a vampire. Nah. So when you're not walking around appreciating the graphics, the Order 1886 is a third-person action-adventure game where you partake in the time-honoured tradition of taking cover and then shooting at things, much like Gears of War and Uncharted, and really not too dissimilar to Time Crisis from 1995 or even Space Invaders in 1978 was a cover-based shooter. But really, this is the modern snap-to-cover, pop-out, shoot-at-people, advance sort of thing seen in Gears of War and Uncharted. It's more to the Gears of War end of the spectrum because unlike Nathan Drake, Grayson is quite old and English. He doesn't jump. Or he seldom jumps. If his life depends on it, Grayson will jump. Discover history's darkest secret. London, 1886. A city transformed by science and industry, but living in fear of an ancient, inhuman foe. As Galahad, a member of an elite order of royal knights, joined the battle to preserve the future of mankind, armed with advanced weapons and technology. Turn the tide in a centuries-old war that will determine the course of history forever. You'll need 50 gigs because it's a serious game. It's actually about 34 gigs, but you can remote play it on a Vita maybe if it works. It's got widescreen at 2.4:1 full HD, but literally not full HD because it's letterboxed, but it's got full HD signal. It's like a Blu-ray movie. It's got werewolves in it and a very, very tall building. Contrary to what the cover may have you think, that you're the Queen's defence against vampires and werewolves, most of your time in the Order 1886 is spent shooting at humans who don't like the government. Cockney disestablishmentarians and
Bedlamites running amok. Percival thinks it could be a rebel subterfuge.
the difficult balance of fixing the werewolf problem and quashing rebellion. That's history's darkest secret. The British Empire is an empire. They call them an Order of Knights because they maintain order. The controls are solid, but so are mugs. And you don't congratulate a mug just for being a solid object. It needs more than that. It needs to be a good size, it needs to have a decently shaped handle. So in the Order 1886's case, yes, the aiming is not too sensitive. Good. But say picking up ammo, that's a pain in the neck. For some reason, whether you're picking up ammo or switching weapons, every triangle prompt to get something off the floor is a hold for 6 frames prompt, not tap. You must hold the button for 1/5 of a second, just long enough to be annoying. Now, on the subject of the rest of the gameplay, and back to that forced mug analogy, if third-person action-adventure games are mugs, the Order 1886 is a beautiful, ornate pewter mug, like the kind you get, as a wedding gift or something. Great to look at, but not the one you want to use every day. You can't use it every day. You have to wash it, and then you can't put it in the dishwasher, unlike a nice bone china mug. I think this analogy is getting way out of hand. Look, the issue with the gameplay is not how it works. It's fine. It's the third-person shooting gameplay that you know and love from other games. But unlike most other third-person action-adventure shooter whatevers, there's very few combat scenarios where you have to think. I understand making a game that appeals to the masses, but they really have low expectations of the lowest common denominator, don't they? Most people have played a game where you have to, decide which path you're going to take through the battlefield, or pick the right weapon. Something more than just popping up and shooting ducks. Oh, here we have a hostage situation. Well, I tried to shoot the hostage taker, but, it's a cinematic scripted sequence, so that's not possible. Ooh, a melee attack. Well, we can survive the first one, because why not? Then it goes into a scripted melee sequence. That was a wet crunch. Where was I? Right, everything's scripted. The werewolf attacks are so scripted. I don't want to spoil any of them, but basically they all boil down to quick time events. It's sad. Push triangle to beat the werewolf. Anyway, I was trying to get through this door. I tried my air blast, thinking that was the trick. No. Igraine hasn't finished her lines. I'm still waiting for the context-sensitive button. Here it is. A slow-mo breaching sequence, which you solve with the air blast. That's so easy. That's your breaching sequence. That's it. Never a difficult situation in this game. Oh, well. Now, Igraine is wounded. What will she do? As seen dozens of times in this game, the Knights of the Round Table use Blackwater, a mysterious fluid in their flasks, which I can only assume to be the original recipe for Coca-Cola, back when it still had the good stuff in it. It cures all wounds, causes slight immortality, and, in gameplay, actually lets you slow down time to shoot grenades out of the air, as seen a few years before in the masterpiece, Yakuza Dead Souls. In Yakuza Dead Souls, they call it heat sniping. Here, it is called black sight. Black sight as in sight with the eyes, not like a black site, a place that is off the... never mind. I'm going to throw a smoke grenade now. It's a good old-fashioned English invention. No, really, they're not anachronistic at all. I have proof.
According to Wikipedia, the modern smoke bomb was created in 1848 by the British inventor Robert Yale.
So Assassin's Creed Revelations has some serious explaining to do. Having smoke bombs in 1511, that's ridiculous. I really do struggle with working out the level of technological progress made in this 1886 and how it's even across scientific fields. So we've got fully automatic rifles that are a few decades early. We've got two-way tiny portable radios that are way early, and lightning guns, I don't even know. I guess we can blame Nikola Tesla for those. Obviously, in this 1886, he gets to realise his potential and be Q, making gadgets for Her Majesty's secret order of Royal Knights. But how's the internal combustion engine going? And what of Johnston's fluid beef? Has it been renamed Bovril yet? Did we get Bovril earlier in the Order 1886 universe? We may never find out because 6.5 years since release, there's no news of a sequel. I don't know if the game did well enough to justify one, considering the massive expense that the game cost. I don't know what the game's budget was, but you can look at these production values and know a lot of time, effort and money was put into this game. And some really good acting as well. Your experience with the game depends on how you frame it. It depends on what you're looking for. If you want a game that you can replay and that will challenge you for months, no. But if you want a 7-hour movie with gameplay, you may have found what you're looking for. The way you frame a scene is very important. I'll demonstrate, give you the real experience. See, now you're watching a movie on your TV in your room.
Everything to your liking thus far?
Quite. Just another ordinary London morning.
Indeed.
Although I do hope that was only the beginning. Ladies first.
Quiet.
And you're still watching a movie.
You think we'll get to shoot a few of them rich folk? Huh?
And you don't even know when we slipped into gameplay. Well, maybe you saw the button. Oh, that's a loud crunch. It's an interactive movie. A really violent interactive movie. With very little replay value. Unless you get a bigger TV. I mean, I'd play this again on a projector, absolutely.
Come take a look at this.
In quieter moments of the Order 1886, you can appreciate detailed objects that you
The
can
latest ship in the company's fleet.
inspect. Wow, look at this ship. I love picking up things and waving them around in 3 axes. Fantastic. I mean, look at it. You look at the top, look at the front, look at the side, shake it around a whole lot. Marvellous. What a beautiful art asset they've made. What a nice ship. I mean, what a nice sack boy. Look at it bobbling around. This is a fantastic asset. The talent that went into making these objects. Fantastic. There's just beautiful art all around. I mean, the visuals don't really make up for all the other shortcomings, but, well, short is the key. The game is very short, and that means you can get it off your backlog pretty easily. It really doesn't take much of a time commitment to finish the game and get the platinum either. All you have to do is, if you're looking for trophies, you just have to finish the game and pick up all of those collectibles. You'll need to follow a guide because there's no real good collectible tracking, but oh well. The game's full of beautiful objects. Take that, you stupid temple jar! If you can get it cheap, go for it. I mean, there were some missed opportunities. I'd say the biggest one was the fact that it ended up as CUSA 00076, not 86. You know which game got 86? The Elder Scrolls Online. The other problem? The pricing of these fruit and vegetables. Strawberries, 3 pennies a pound. Blueberries, 1 penny a pound. Pears, 2 penny a pound. What? That doesn't make any sense. But the worst of all, the cabbages are 1 penny a pound. Cabbages aren't sold by the pound, they're sold by the head. And why would they be the same price as blueberries? Why are the blueberries so cheap? Or the oh, no. Oh.